15 years, and he rather be with it. Our guest tonight, speaker tonight, is Paul Gramling from Freeport, Louisiana. That's up by the Red River, the northwest corner.
Yes, it is.
Up there like that. And he's been many things. He's from the Taylor camp in Louisiana, 1308. He was past camp adjutant, past camp commander. He's also in Louisiana, the second lieutenant commander. These are most past now. And you're currently the Army Trans-Mississippi Councilman. Okay, like this. And also the chief of the Heritage Fence. And we've heard him before. And
It says
we're here again. Paul.
speaker for our April 7th.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I bring greetings from Louisiana and the Army of Trans-Mississippi. 4 years ago, I spoke in Ripley, and it's good to be back. But 4 years ago when I spoke about my experiences as far as getting into the SCV and what drew me to the Sons of Confederate Veterans, which, like all of us, it's the Confederate blood that's running through our veins. Tonight, I want to propose a question to you. Are we as committed as our enemies are? So you have to ask yourself, am I as committed as our enemies are? And our enemies, as we all know, are very, very committed to the eradication of everything Confederate. How many here has ever read or heard the resolution that the NAACP passed in 1991? How many here have actually read it? Well, I just happen to have a copy. This is what we've been fighting for the past 25 years. Approved. Whereas the tyrannical evil symbolized in the Confederate battle flag is an importance to all Americans and decent people of this country, and indeed the world, and is an odious blight upon the universe. And whereas African Americans had no voice, no consultation, no concurrence, no commonality, not in the fact nor in philosophy, in the vile conception of the Confederate battle flag, or state flags containing the ugly symbol of idiotic white supremacy, racism, and denigration. And whereas we adamantly reject the notion that African Americans should accept this flag to any stretch of imagination or approve its presence on the state flags. Now therefore be it resolved that the National Office of the NAACP and all units commit their legal resources to the removal of the Confederate flag from all public properties. This is what we've been fighting for the past 25 years. And believe me, they have done an excellent job at the eradication of everything Confederate. Every time they lose a battle, they come back even harder. They are committed to taking this down, to erasing this from history. They are committed to it. And this. And if they should succeed on doing that, this is next. Believe me, that's next. Then a Christian flag. Every aspect of our history, gone. This is what they want. We know they have an agenda. Now, what have we, as a Southern people, been doing to stop it? That is my question to you. Are you as committed as our enemies are? In the past, I've been Louisiana Division Commander. I've been ATM Army Commander. I've been Chief of Heritage Defense. Been ATM Councilman twice. In all those positions, I've noticed how we as SCV members, UDC members, Southerners as a whole, has reacted to this fight. In 2004, when we had the flag was actually flying in South Carolina. The NAACP of South Carolina wanted to have their convention in Augusta, Georgia, because they was boycotting South Carolina. So they went across the river to Augusta to make their plans, and on the Riverwalk in Augusta, with all the flags, Second National was flying. They went and complained to the mayor and city council, we want to have our convention here, spend all this money, we want those flags down. They were gone, just like that. That was in September 2004. The SCV in Georgia decided to have a flag rally and protest, a 3-day event, to try to get those flags put back up. I know most of you, if not all of you, have heard of H.K. Edgerton. He was there Thursday and Friday of that 3-day event, protesting and trying to get the flag back up. So as the chief of Heritage Defense, I asked my wife, I said, would you like to make a trip to Augusta, Georgia, Saturday? She goes, sure, why not? So after she got off work Friday, I picked up my son from school, and we took off to Augusta, Georgia from Shreveport, Louisiana. We got to Aiken, South Carolina, where we had a room at 5 o'clock Saturday morning. So at 2 hours, got up, went back across the river to Augusta for this rally. And how many here have heard about the rally we had in Columbia, South Carolina in 2000? There was over 12,000 people there for that rally. So this is just 4 short years later. So showing up to this rally, it had been advertised for a number of weeks. So I'm showing up here, me and my wife and my son show up, and I'm expecting at least 1,000 people. Well, this is important because Georgia, South Carolina, SCV alone, there's 8,000 members, just those 2 states. Not counting the UDC, the OCR, people in the League of the South, it was pretty big back then. All these organizations, Southern organizations. So I'm expecting about 1,000 people protesting the mayor. So we show up, and the total number of people there, counting the police that were there to protect us, about 125 people. That's it. Now, if I'm the mayor of Augusta, and I know how many members are in these organizations, and they want me to put this flag back up on the Riverwalk, and this organization is coming in and spending all this money from South Carolina in my city, and these people were protesting me to put the flag back up, and there was a news camera across the street on top of the building where we were, and he's sitting in his easy chair watching this on the news, and he sees 125 people there. Do you think he's going to put the flag back up? That was 11 and a half years ago. They've never gone back up. They're still gone. Are we as committed as our enemies are? In Shreveport, of course, Shreveport and Louisiana and the Gulf states, you hear a lot about Mardi Gras. Well, in Shreveport we have 3 or 4 Mardi Gras parades. There's one we used to march in. We couldn't fire rifles, but we marched in with our flags. So this particular year, after we were assured there would be no problem, they come to us and told us, well, you can march in the parade, but you can't carry any Confederate flags. Well, if you can't shoot, and you can't carry a flag, why be in the parade? So we went back and forth with them. We looked at the attorneys, see if we could sue them, but it was a private parade, so that was no good. So what we decided to do, to make a statement, along the route, there's some parking lots along the route, we decided to get a lot of our people there, hold the flag, show the flag, along this parade route. And so we started for 2 months, we put it out there. Just show up, you don't have to march, you don't have to walk, bring you a chair, sit down, just show up with a flag. So we put that out. Now before I go any further with this story, I'll tell you this. In 2000, when I was the Louisiana Division Commander, we had a dance, Confederate dance in January in Minden, Louisiana, which is just east of Shreveport. That morning we was going to have a division executive committee council meeting. So we show up, we had a flag on the flagpole at the convention center, civic center there, and we were told that we rented the center, not the flagpole. We had to take the flag down. So we took the flag down. So what we did, one of our members went and got his cherry picker truck and pulled it to the parking lot, which is right alongside Highway 80. We ran that flag on that truck and ran it 40 feet up in the air over Highway 80. And so while we was having our executive council meeting, the police chief walks in, wants us to take the flag down. I said, is there any rules, policy that we're breaking here? He goes, no. I said, well, then it's not coming down. He said, it would just be easier if you take it down. I said, no. He goes, I really wish you'd take it down. I said, are we breaking any laws? He goes, no. I said, then go do your job and leave us alone. He came back. This went on 2 or 3 times. And I finally told him, the flag's not coming down. Of course, I was a little louder the last time I said it, but I let him know that the flag wasn't coming down. He left. Now, between that situation and the ball that night, roughly 3 hours, there were over 200 people across the highway, which is from here to the back of the wall. 200 people protesting us for having our flag on that truck, on that tower. 200, at least 200 people protesting, just like that. So now I'll go back to the other story I was telling you about the Mardi Gras parade. I told this story at a UDC/SCV Lee Jackson luncheon, and I challenged them then. I said, they had 200 people protest us. Now, how many people can we have at this Mardi Gras parade? So the day comes. It was on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Now remember, the Taylor camp, which I'm a member of, right now we have about 240 members. Back then we had roughly 120. That's just a Taylor camp, and you got other camps and UDC chapters and stuff around. And we've been advertising this for 2 months. So the day of the parade, in that parking lot, counting the members, the wives, the kids, UDC members, we had 20 people show up. 20 people. Yeah, I was bummed out. That was ridiculous that no one showed up. And they didn't have to do anything to show up. Just show up and that's it. Couldn't do that. We decided to try it again the next year. We advertised it for a year. We're going to do this. We need to show up. We've got to show them. 20 people showed up. Something magical about the number 20, I don't know, but 20 people showed up. So what we as committed as our enemies are. As a group, as a people, we're not. Even with our national sesquicentennial events, I went to all 5 of them. National SCV sesquicentennial events, they come, they're gone for good now. Never to do it again. Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama in 2011 was our best showing. We had roughly 3,000 to 4,000 people. The next year in Richmond, 400 tops. The next year in Beauvoir, roughly 800 people. Franklin, Tennessee in 14, we had 250 people. And the final year in Shreveport, last year, we had roughly 400 people. These are national events that our enemies was watching to see how we supported him. Now, I said all this stuff prior to June last year. Spoke to the Arkansas Division Convention, the Texas Division Convention, and I told them, our enemies are they're lurking, and they're ready to pounce. They're waiting for that one situation where they can jump on us. June 17th happened. And you know what Paul Harvey used to say, the rest of the story? Everywhere we turn, we're being attacked. Every state in this country that has anything Confederate, be it a school, a highway, any kind of monument, marker, flag, anything, is being attacked. As you well know in this state. After you've already voted 15, 16 years ago to keep your flag, but they're not satisfied. They're coming back at you again. Now, after this has happened, I told someone right in the past 8 months, recruiting in the SCV is like taking your boat out to go fishing and the fish are jumping in your boat. We've had so many people sign up that put our headquarters, and our new executive director, Mike Landry, got so far they was 3 months behind trying to catch up with all the new people. The problem was, I talked to Mike about a month ago, and the problem was all these new people that we got coming in, we had 4,300 people that did not renew their dues. So we got all these new people, then these people didn't, and so we're back down here because people didn't renew their dues. Why are we committed? One final story, and I'm on. Sit down, shut up. After all this happened, in the city of Natchitoches, Louisiana, every year at Christmas, we've marched in that parade, Christmas of Lights parade. For almost 25 years, we have marched in that parade, fired the rifles, had our flags, all this stuff. 200,000 spectators cheering when we do that parade. This year, they decided they were going to keep us out of the parade. Myself, the Louisiana Division Commander, Tom Taylor, we met with the mayor, tried to make him understand and see the error of his ways, wouldn't budge, would not let us march in the parade with our flag. We could march with the First National, or some flag that most people don't know. We said, no, we've always marched with our battle flags. We will either march with those, or we won't march at all. So they told us, well, you can't march. So denied our application. For a month, emails, Facebook, just telephone, letters to the mayor, all this information going out, what was going on. And some of you might be on Facebook, might have seen some of it was going on, but it was just the mayor, like this, never budged. So what we decided to do, we was going to, some of us will show up early in Front Street, pass out all these little small flags. 1,000 of them we passed out. A few more with each end of the city with big signs that the mayor, dishonors veterans, something like that. The rest of us, we're going to congregate on the parade route at the beginning with our flags to make sure the mayor saw these flags, because we told him in our meeting, if you don't let us in the parade with the flags, these people are going to see more flags than they've seen in a lifetime. So we put it out there. Show up. Just show up, bring a chair, just show up with the flag at this gathering spot where everyone's supposed to be. We had 25 people. Now, we had a lot of people on their keyboards. They was going to town on those keyboards. But when it came to the actually walking the walk, didn't show up. Even the person that did the Facebook page for this event and got it all put together did not show up because he said his ride did not pick him up. So we got going on a little tit for tat exchange a few days later, and I was not happy. I was not happy. I was frustrated. I was put out. So was the division commander. All this that's coming at us, and all these people have to do is just show up. And they couldn't do that. They couldn't get out of their easy chairs long enough to do that. And these people are taking this away from us. And they couldn't do that. I told him, our guy on the Facebook page, now we had a come to Jesus meeting. I told him, I am getting sick and tired of people, keyboard warriors, sounding the rallying cry and not showing up for the rally. We are really good about that in the South, the Southerners. Now we can get on there and we can pound it. We've got to do this, got to do this, got to do this. Don't let someone else show up. Saturday, we're having, I'm sure you've heard, flag rallies in 22 states. Some kind of flag rallies in 22 states. Tomorrow is National Confederate Flag Day. So since it's on a Friday, Commander-in-Chief Kelly Barrow is going to do it to show it on Saturday a bit. Every state is doing something. We need to show up. Unfortunately, I can't be at mine in Louisiana because I'm speaking in Oklahoma City at theirs Saturday. But every state is having one, and it should be supported because the media is watching too. The media is watching what we do. They always have been, and they are no friend of ours. Trying to take a quote from Mark Twain. If anyone listens to the media, if anyone does not listen to the media, they are uninformed. If anyone listens to the media, they are misinformed. True. And it's true. They're not our friend. But one thing we've got to be sure that we do not let our enemies break our will or our spirit. They haven't been able to do that. Regardless if you get out from behind that keyboard, they still haven't broke that will. And until that happens, which we hope it don't, I don't foresee it to, they will never prevail. Because regardless if they got the media, politicians, whoever on their side, the one thing that we have on our side, that we have always had on our side, is the truth. And let's not forget that. So, ask yourself. Like I said, I don't know you. I'm not pointing any fingers. This is just food for thoughts on what I've seen in the past 16 years. Am I as committed as my enemies are? Thank you.